hub of SDSN, which was launched last year during the APEC conference in Bali. I can also ensure that the Ministry of Environment and Forestry welcome the opportunity to partner with the regional SDSN in helping this country finding ways solution toward realizing sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, I was informed that this workshop aims to explore the solution that would support a cleaner and more sustainable energy with existing technologies that are already successfully applied both within Indonesia and internationally. Expert and solution providers from ASEAN region, Australia, as well as China and other countries mentioned previously by Dr. Yatna, United States, Europe, gathered here to share ideas, technologies, and best practices. Different aspects of sustainable energy and deep decarbonization will be discussed, including transportation, urban and island sustainability, and sustainable tourism and renewables. I really hope Indonesia will be able to tap and benefit from this excellent gathering of research persons, contributing to the long-run solution of our energy problems. The focus on sustainable energy and decarbonization cannot be more timely. As you are all aware of, energy has become a constant stigma to Indonesia. A significant part of the national budget must be dedicated for fuel subsidies, creating a great hindrance to the country's development. For that reason, President Joko Widodo has just taken a bold and brave policy on reducing the gargantuan fuel subsidies that stood up to $27 billion US dollars, disregarding its popularity risk. But eliminating subsidies is one way. The real long-run solution is conversion to sustainable energy, of which Indonesia is having huge resources. Decarbonization is also a big issue. Indonesia is committed to deep decarbonization and to reduce CO2 emissions as part of a global effort to stay within the internationally agreed 2 degrees centigrade. To that end, Indonesia has formally committed to reduce its CO2 emissions by 26% of the 2020 business as usual level. Also, the inclusion of island sustainability in the discussion is also very appropriate because, as mentioned previously, Indonesia is the largest archipelago, and that geographical situation, to some extent, has been among the chief causes of inefficient and high-cost economy. The population in many small islands frequently suffer economic inequality because of the huge difference they have to pay for energy. So development of small-scale local alternative energy is a possible solution to this issue. At the same time, we also target to address the urgent need of investment in the energy infrastructure, which includes energy supply, production, and transmission. Indonesia has taken strong steps to support small independent power producers with a dedicated framework. This delivers the necessary certainty to small independent power producers to develop and operate renewable energy installation. We therefore now see the need to attract long-term capital into these small-scale projects. We see a substantial demand for project finance debt and creative financial mechanisms to be made available to this sector. We therefore appreciate the initiative of international private sector investors to invest in Indonesia, including in small-scale renewable energy projects that are developed by local small to medium-scale enterprises. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I would like to use the opportunity to once again convey our strongest support to SDSN and its partner, and the Ministry of Environment and Forestry stand ready to cooperate. So let us join our hands and hearts particularly in the region, to endorse partnership for solutions. So I was asked that the minister is supposed to declare this workshop is formally open, so let me do it on behalf of her. So with that, allow me to declare workshop on priorities and pathways for sustainable energy and deep decarbonization in Indonesia is obviously open. Thank you very much, Minister of Environment and Forestry, Dr. Siti Nurbaya.
Thank you very much, Pak Putra. Previously, when Pak Yaka set the scene, there was also another person that's supposed to also present to set the scene as well. However, cannot be here with us today. However, there's a video. Amber Lovins, the Chairman and Chief Scientist of the Rocky Mountain Institute. So, if the video is ready.
Amber Lovins talking to you from Rocky Mountain Institute in Old Silmar, Colorado. I want to congratulate you and welcome you to the inaugural United Nations Global Initiative, SDSN and Indonesia Joint Workshop after the APEC launching in Indonesia. And I'm grateful to our host, the Honorable Minister of Environment and Forestry, Siti Nurbaya, and Leadership Council, Mari Pangestu, Sherry, John. Let me make a few remarks that I hope will be helpful in your deliberations in your diverse working groups. And I'd like particularly to focus a moment on what we call integrative design that can often make very big energy savings cost less than small ones and thus help to achieve your decarbonization goals not at a cost but at a major profit and boost for Indonesian economic and social development. Because for decarbonization to promote and accelerate Indonesian development needs a strong foundation of modern energy efficiency in every sector. And integrative design can turn diminishing returns to investments in efficiency into expanding returns. That is illustrated by this building from which I'm speaking to you, my own home and office. You can see behind me it's a banana farm. We've just harvested 6 more banana crops, except that I'm 2,200 meters up in the Rocky Mountains, where temperatures used to go as low as minus 44 Celsius, and this building has no furnace. It's just super insulated, passive solar, and a little bit cheaper to build that way because we saved more construction costs getting rid of the heating system than we paid for the super windows and super insulation and so on that eliminated the heating system. Now, we have been pursuing this notion in detail for the United States and China in a book called Reinventing Fire, published both for the U.S. and in Chinese for the U.S., and then applied to China in a new study I'll mention in a moment. What we found in the United States is that including integrated design and advanced energy efficiency, the U.S. could have a 2.6-fold bigger economy by 2050, using no oil, no coal, no nuclear energy, a third less natural gas, tripled efficiency, quintupled renewables making up 3/4 of total supply, and that would be $5 trillion cheaper than business as usual. It would require no new inventions and no act of Congress, but could be led by business for profit. And the U.S. is, in fact, nicely on the track for that trajectory. In collaboration with the leading energy analytic and policy groups for China's National Development and Reform Commission, Rocky Mountain Institute and Lawrence Berkeley National Labs China Energy Group, are most of the way through a very rigorous version of that same analysis for China using Chinese models, modeler data, examples, and ways of doing things. And we're finding that even after the enormous efficiency gains already made in China, China could have a 6-fold bigger economy in 2050 using about the same energy as today, getting about half that energy from carbon-free sources and reducing carbon and other air emissions by at least 60% compared with business as usual. And interestingly enough, China's coal use has been going down so far this year, despite over 7% annual economic growth. China is also a remarkable world leader in renewables. And for example, the past 2 years has made more wind power than nuclear energy. Last year alone, China added more solar power than the United States has added in the 60 years since we invented the technology. In 2012 alone, China added more electric generation from non-hydro renewables than from all fossil and nuclear sources combined, so that we're still bringing on more coal-fired plants ordered long ago, but they were running their coal plants a lot less, as well as retiring many of the older, less efficient and dirtier ones. And of course, China has already saved 3 gorges dam worth of electricity just by its efficiency standards for refrigerators and air conditioners. There's a long way to go in that department. And just the non-hydro renewables worldwide are getting over $250 billion investment every year, more than the total market cap of all the traded coal companies in the world, and adding over 80 gigawatts a year. Renewables are now over half the world capacity additions, and developing countries now dominate those additions. Why does this matter for Indonesia, with its talented and diligent people, its great development and energy needs? Well, because of the, among other things, the capital leverage that you get by doing the cheapest things first, notably modern energy efficiency. If you were to build a super window factory in Jakarta to let in light without heat for your new buildings, or an LED lighting factory, you would need about 1,000 times less capital than if you expanded, say, coal-fired power plants and grid to deliver the same services in the traditionally inefficient way, and you would get your money back 10 times faster. Multiply intensity times velocity, you just got a 10,000-fold reduction in the capital required to deliver those increases in illumination and comfort. Well, that's for the power sector, which gobbles 1/4 of the world's development capital. We can turn that sector from a net consumer of capital, really a black hole for capital, into a net exporter of capital to fund other development needs, of which Indonesia has so many. So think about that leverage, the most powerful macroeconomic lever for development that we know, based on modern energy efficiency. Think about the climate protection, the forest and rural regeneration that Dr. Engineer Willie Smits in Indonesia has demonstrated so well in several sites, with the world's best combination, I think, of ecological and economic and cultural restoration. Think about the clean air, the economic gains, the energy security, taking price volatility out of your economic calculus so it doesn't keep whipsawing the economy. Exerting the world leadership that Indonesia is so deserving of, such a great country. Think about building your economy for success in the next century. That, not just climate protection, is where I think your conference can take your country. So I want to thank each of you in attendance for your leadership. You have great responsibilities and immense opportunities. Make the most of them. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much. And now we move on to, after we set the scene, it's great for us to start the day with some success stories. So to share with us some success stories, I'd like to invite the 3 panelists. Agus Sapyo, professor at the University of Indonesia, who will share a story on bio-waste. If you can join me on stage, and then we'll start the panel. Pak Agus Widianto, Executive Director of Yayasan Bina Usaha Lingkungan, and Shelley Chung, all the way from Kibos, Sumba Island Case, the Green Advisor of Kibos Regional Office of Southeast Asia. And first of all, we have, as I mentioned, Adi Sodasapyo, who will be sharing his story on a successful story on bio-waste. Adi, we've limited each of the panelists to 5 minutes. That's a challenge. But we want to give ample time for discussions afterwards. So the floor will be open for questions and answers. Silakan, Pak Adi.
Thank you very much. The moderator has please allow me to presentation my works and from the laboratory to the local society. So, and this is my title is the experience implementation of bio-waste utilization. Okay, the next slide, please. Yeah. I'm from the Universitas Indonesia and also for Tropical Renewable Energy Center in Faculty of Engineering. We are trying to develop some different renewable energy in Universitas Indonesia. Please, next slide, please. Okay, this is the method of presentation. This is the most of us about the gasification and the aspect combustion and the characterization of the technology application, attraction for local society. It is we try to communicate with the local industry. Okay, next presentation. Okay, since this is only 5 minutes, I must run through the slides. The introduction is energy supply of distribution in Indonesia, the problems of the energy for drying and electrical generation at different places in Indonesia, and it is important from research to application technology. Next, please. We have seen that Indonesia is the very big country in South Asia, but actually we have distribution of the energy. This is the picture in Raja Ampat, and this is a beautiful place. Okay, please next. We have that, as we know that from the previous presentation, we have a target of primary energy mix as set to 23% and renewable energy in 2025, and with economic growth more than 5% energy and demands increased to 7% to 8% annually. So the renewable energy has a high potential in bioenergy with the estimation potential around 49 gigawatt per year. Next please. The objective of the work is how to implement the renewable energy, especially in biowaste, in the electricity and the drying, and in a small scale. Okay, next please. And how to communicate with the local. And this is some of milestones of the implementation from the research lab. How the biowaste utilization I divided into biomass gasification and food aspect combustion. And this is the output. This is the syngas and the heat energy. Next please. And this is some of the works, currently works in the small scale industry. Next please. And how we get the work is through the experience, simulation and work in the workshop. Next please. And this is food aspect conversion. We have made, we manufacture ourselves and we design for the purpose for coconut cell combustion, and this is success in the experiment and the implementation. But still we are working in our university. Okay, this is some part of the food aspect combustion. Next please. Okay, the characterization of the technology application. How we should attract the research to the local society, and we try to implement it in the small scale of clay ceramic industry, and this is using the biomass resources. What we are now using this is mostly is the rice husk and some of the coconut shell and so on. What we are a lot of biowaste around us. Okay, next please. You see that it's biowaste in Indonesia. We have from the data. Actually, we have potential of 13,662 megawatt electric. This is very good. This we can how we utilize for our building. Okay, next please. This is from academic research. This is some of the part in the lab. Okay. Next. Okay, this is reduced bed combustion research. We try to how to make a drying, and this is the local society. I've mentioned how to involve in the production of clay ceramic industry and in small scale in this in the West Java, not East Java, actually, Purwakarta. We have already working together with the Minister SDSN mineral. Okay. Okay, next please. This is the industrial project in the other places. Sarandi Karanugraha, we are trying to improve the gasification to create the flame and how to drying up the some kinds of the ceramic industry, small scale, and also the how to inject the gas. Next project is the to generate the electric. We have developed the connection between the synthetic gas to the small scale engine, and we have success working together with the local industry, and there is the owner of the big entrepreneur and as the member of the Kadin. Kadin is the entrepreneurship of the chamber in Indonesia. There are some groups that's already supported the works. Then try to initialize to implement in some places in the small scale industry. Okay, I think this is of my presentation. Next please. This is yes.